So, my dear students, join the class quickly. I will come into the class within a couple of minutes. Quickly. Yeah. Sajji. Statistical decision theory. So, we go for the small introduction about the decision theory. The process of decision making consists of making a choice out of two or more alternatives of our disposal. We are faced with the problems of decision making in almost every sphere of human activity, whether it is at a personal level or in business, production, finance, marketing, then management, etc. Decision may be personal or official or at the organization level. Okay. So here decision, the process of decision making consists of making choice about. See, generally in our daily life, we'll see number of decisions, number of situations, number of circumstances we are going to face. So in these circumstances, each and every activity will be depends on the decision only. If you take any type of wrong decision, then you are going to suffer a lot. After the decision implementation is completed, after implementing decision, then you are going to suffer little bit. So here what happens here? See, before you are going to take decision, you should develop alternatives. Alternative means quality has different solutions, different answers. Okay, so generally in our daily life, we are faced with the problems of decision making in almost every sphere of human activity. Whether it is at the personal level, personal means here, a individual or in business, production, finance, marketing, management, etc. Decision may be personal or official at the organization level also. So we'll see in our daily life, we may have many personal decisions. Like here, see, I have given small different examples. You see the examples carefully. See, every day a housewife has to decide about how much and which vegetables, fruits to buy for a day's consumption, what to cook and how much to cook, what to buy and from where to do shopping. Okay, so in every day, a mother, okay, a mother will face this type of different situation. That is, how much and which vegetables, fruits to buy for a day's consumption, what to cook and how much to cook. Then what to buy and from where to do shopping here. So here for the day consumption means here, to survive on this earth, we need to consume something for our body. So what to buy for how many days also. Then in a house, there will be a family members of 5 members or 4 members or 3 members or 2 members. So suddenly some relatives will come to our house. At that time, there is a decision making will be taken by the mother that what to cook and how much to cook. Based on the number of relatives they visited their house, and sometimes the friends will come, and sometimes the colleagues will, those who are working in the office, they will also come to the house. At that time, what happens here? A mother in a situation, not in a situation sometimes to how much to cook. So based on her experience, based on the past experience, a mother will take a decision that how much to cook and what type of food she want to cook. That much she is ready to cook and what to buy and okay, from where to do the shopping also. At the time of shopping also, where to do the shopping also and what to buy also. So these are the first example in the decision making. Then the second example is here, where to go for an excursion trip and for how many days. Where to go for an excursion trip for how many days here. Okay, where to go for an excursion trip, this is important. So during summer, after completion of the school working days, and the sometimes what happens here, during the weekend, that is on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, that is on Saturday and Sunday. A mother or a family members, mother or family members, they will discuss regarding going for a trip for a new place, the historical places, to visit the historical places, to see the monuments here. I think I will give a small example. So here in the state of Telangana, see, one best place is there, that is Warangal. Okay, Warangal is a historical place. The Warangal is the place where Rani Rudrama Devi, okay, establish her mark there. Okay, her milestone is there. We call it as a thousand pillar temple, Fort Warangal. Okay, there's a separate fort is there. And for Warangal also, the famous, okay. Then here for nearby Warangal, recently in UNESCO identified the place, the historical place, that is Ramappa also. Near to Ramappa, Laknavaram is there. There is a small island is there. In that island, around there's a water will be there in the between, in the middle island will be there. And near to that, the international, what we call a festival will be celebrated. That is Sammaka Saraka Jatra. Okay, Sammaka Saraka Jatra is there. So these are some historical places. If you have any free time in a family members, they will go for an excursion trip. And for how many days also? See, generally, see, now I said Thousand Pillar Temple, Fort Warangal, Ramappa, Laknavaram, and Sammaka Saraka, the Jatara. That is a place in the international place. From international tourists will they come every year in the month of February. It takes place in the month of February, only February. That is from 11th to 24, 26. In between these days only, the festival will be taking place there. Then here, suppose we want to go for a excursion trip like these places, so we need to take a decision that already we have taken a decision regarding the excursion trip, and we need to take for how many days. See, for how many days we want to go for that places. Why? Because see, for the sake of satisfaction of our human body, our mind, we are going for this excursion trip. So after satisfaction only, they will come back to their houses. So for the sake of satisfaction, so for how many days we want to travel and we want to stay there. So these type of decisions will be there in the mindset of a mother, a father, and the children's also. And what is your budget here? See, finance is a important concept here. Why? Because finance is a lifeblood of the business. Okay, if finance, sufficient money is there in the hand, the cash in hand or cash at bank, it is available, then immediately with excursion trip and what we are staying, that island places, everything will be possible here. Then whether to carry an umbrella on a particular day in a rainy season. See, it is a rainy season. Rain will come at any time, anywhere. Okay, no proper timing is there for rain. Okay, which will fall on the earth. So at that time, a human, uh, he should carry umbrella. Umbrella is the safe guard for a human being here. Okay, this is also one of the best example for decision making. Then next, the fourth one is here: when and whom to marry. When and whom to marry. This is also an important decision in a human life, whether he is a female or a male. When and whom. Okay, at what age we go for marriage? And suppose a boy is going to marry a girl, he should check the attitude, the character of a girl. Okay, whether she is educated or not, and how is her attitude. So all these will be things will be considered. In the same manner, it is also vice versa also. Okay, vice versa also. A girl, she has some desires. She has some desires. In that desire, number one is the boy. Okay, the male candidate, his attitude also required. His attitude also required. In what way his behavior is there, and what his work is there, and how much his earning is there. All these things he should consider. Okay, all these things issue a girl should consider and take a decision that to marry a woman or a male or a female. The next one, which career or profession to choose? Which career or profession to choose? After completion of education, after completion of PG, after completion of PhD, okay, youth, okay, generally youth will they will take a decision that which career or profession to choose and where and how much to invest. See, after choosing a best career or excellent profession, they will in return they will get some money. Okay, they will get some money. So after getting this money, okay, after the emergency needs, after satisfying emergency needs, that youth that concern the person, they will take a decision that how much to invest. They will go for investment also. How much to invest? Investment is also the another important factor here. That belongs to a decision making only. Then over here, in a newly set up manufacturing industrial unit, okay, what to produce and how much to produce. What to produce and how much to produce. So newly we started a business. In that business, the main motto of business is to earn the profit only. So how much to produce and what type of product is produced? So before we are going to take these type of decision, first of all we have to think about the market condition. Market condition is important. In the market, general public, what type of product they are expecting, which type of goods they are required, and what type of services are required for them. So based on that, we go for producing and how much to produce here. Okay, so here some of these decisions are easy to take and involve a little risk. Say decision number one and two in the above, it will take some little bit risk, one and two. Okay, however, some of the decisions are difficult to make and very vital and involve good amount of risk in a decision were taken subjectively. Based on communication skills here, experience and intuition is the decision maker. But in today's world of dynamism, the decision making has become very complex, particularly in business, marketing, and management, because they involve a number of interactive variables whose values and relationships cannot be determined accurately. Okay, so here in decision making is very complex and particularly in business, marketing, then management, they involve a number of interactive variables whose values are and the relationships cannot be determined accurately. Okay, then here a small definition regarding decision making. So decision making is a process which results in selection from a set of alternative course of action. That course of action which is considering meeting the objectives of the decision problem are more satisfactorily than others as judged by the decision maker, as judged by the decision maker. See, the first definition says that decision making is a process which results in selection from a set of alternative course of action. That course of action which is considering meeting the objectives of the decision problem more satisfactorily than others as judged by the decision maker. Okay, the next second one. Solve the decision model consists of finding a strategy for action. Finding a strategy for action, the expected relative value of any other strategy in a specified set. The prescriptive criterion of a strategy will be maximization of the decision maker. Okay, so here you observe once in the first definition. See, decision making is a process which results in the deselection from a set of alternative course of action. That course of action which is considering meeting the objectives of decision problem more satisfactory than others as judged by the decision maker here. So alternative development is one of the important course of action. Okay. So the next one, solve the decision model consist of finding a strategy for action. The expected relative value, okay, expected relative value of any other strategy in a specified set. The prescriptive criterion of a strategy will be maximization of decision makers. The statistically, the statistically decision theory, also called Bayesian decision theory. Okay, so here we'll see now the steps in solving the problem or decision making. See, these are the steps involving in decision making. Many decisions will be made very often with a little bit of incomplete data in an environment of uncertainty. The role of statistical problem solving in large. The following steps involved on problem solving and decision making. So they are here. The steps: define and analyze the problems, determine a set of alternative solutions, establish criteria for evaluating the alternatives, evaluate the alternatives, choose the best alternative, implement the best alternative, evaluate the result and check that things are working all right. Okay. So define and analyze the problem. So first, before we are going to take the decision, so these are the excellent steps that will help you a lot to um, apply the best alternative. So the first one is here, define and analyze the problem. See, defining and analyzing the problem is important. Analyzing means here, go for a detailed examination about the problem. Okay, so determine a set of alternative solutions here. So we need to determine different alternative solutions here. Why? Because if you develop more alternatives, then the best alternative will be for choosing the best alternative. It will help a lot. So establish criteria for evaluating the alternatives. What are the criteria? Which criteria we are following for evaluation process also. Then after the criteria is completed, we go for evaluating the alternative here. Okay, alternative evaluation is completed. Then choose the best alternative. Choosing the best alternative. Then implement the best alternative. Okay, after implementation process completed, evaluate the result and check that things are working all right. Evaluate the things are working all right. Okay, these are the steps. The next, ingredients of decision making. So these are the different ingredients are there. So we will see. So decision theory provides a framework which enables us to justify as how and why decision maker has selected a particular choices, strategies, or course of action available. Some of the key elements are given below, plays a vital role in decision problem. Okay, so decision theory provides a framework which justify enables us to justify how and why a decision maker has selected a particular choice. Okay, so strategies are course of action available. Some of the key elements are given below, plays a vital role in decision problem. They are here act, that is the various possible alternatives or course of action available to the decision maker, out of which he has to choose one, are termed as the act or strategies or decisions. The N act says are usually denoted by AJ. I is equals to 1 comma 2 so on n. The decision maker has a control over the choice of these acts or decision. Okay, so acts are completed. Then after completion of act, state of nature or events. See the various possible outcomes of any act strategy on the part of the decision maker are dependent on a number or event. Say yes, I is equals to 1 comma 2 so on m. These are beyond the control of the decision maker. These are the beyond the control of the decision maker. The next one is payoff table. So payoff tables present the result of the decision at a particular level of action under a given states of nature. Therefore, the term payoff denotes the following results. So payoff table is very much important. We'll see the payoff table. The following is a general pro forma of payoff table. General pro forma of payoff table. So here the top is the product. So this payoff table, each and everyone, they should properly listen. So this is the state of nature. Supply, this is the demand. Okay. See, state of nature. S1, S2, S3, S4, so on, Sn. A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, so on, An. So first here, first row, first column. P first row, first column. P first row, second column. P first row, third column. P first row, fourth column. P first row, fifth column. P first row, sixth column. P first row, n column. Then S2 here. P second row, first column. P second row, second column. P second row, third column. P second row, fourth column. P second row fifth column, P second row sixth column, P second row n column. The next one is P third row first column, P third row second column, P third row third column, P third row fourth column, P third row fifth column, P third row sixth column, P third row n column. Then P fourth row first column, P fourth row second column, P fourth row third column, P fourth row fourth column, P fourth row fifth column, P fourth row sixth column, P fourth row n column. Then Sn, P n row first column, P n row second column, P n row third column, P n row fourth column, P n row fifth column, P n row sixth column, P n n. Okay, so this is a payoff table. So why we have to learn payoff table means here, see, while we are solving the game theory problem, it helps a lot. Okay, so now slowly we are entering into the problematic part. So you observe the problem carefully, just go through the problem. Okay, so just listen here. A baker produces a certain type of special pastry at a total average cost of rupees 3 and sells it at a price of rupees 5. This pastry is produced over the weekend and is sold during the following week. Such pastries being produced but not sold during a week times of the past experience. The weekly demand, such pastry being produced but not sold during a week time of the past experience. The weekly demand for these pastries are never less than 78 or greater than 80. You are required to formulate action space, payoff table, and loss table. See, here the cost incurred for producing a pastry is 3 rupees, okay, and he's selling for 5 rupees. So how many pastries are there? That is 78 and greater than 80. Huh? Huh? Hello? Hello? मगर घाला ऊद घाली नहीं 78 or greater than 80, you are required to formulate action. See, formulate action space, payoff table, and loss table. So these three things we need to do. So number one, formulating a action space. So it is clear. So it is clear from the problem, given that the manufacturer will not produce less than 78 or more than 80 pasties. There are three course of action open to them here. So production and demand. See, 78 is production is there, demand is 78 is production is 79, demand is 79. Production is 80, demand is 80. So action space is completed. So you observe carefully. So now we go for payoff table and loss table. So action space completed. You observe carefully. Preparation of a payoff table. Okay. Preparation of a payoff table. This is very much important. Then frequently repeating this question. So this is a production and this side is the demand here. D for demand. $78, $79, $80. 78, 79, 80. P first row first column, P first row second column, P second first row third column. P second row first column, P second row second column, P second row third column. P third row first column, P third row second column, P third row third column. So here you observe carefully, my dear students. Calculation of payoff value. So profit value is equals to demand into selling price minus production cost into production price. Production cost into production price. Okay, production value is equal to total sales minus total cost. P first row first column is equal to 78 into 5. 78 into 5, this one, and 78 into 3. So you will get 156. Okay. Then 78 is the demand, 79 is supply is there. So we got 153. Demand is 78, production is 80 is there. So we got 150 only. Okay. So here, this is important. 78 demand is there. See, 78 is demand is there. We first to third column, this one, this place. Supply is 80 is there. So what we are taking only 78 only. So this is the important here. Okay. So likewise here, this is the common and this these are the 78 demand is there. See, see this one and all these three one. See what is the supply is there? How much? Demand is 7, supply is 78, but demand is 78. We are taking 79, 79 here. Third row, third column. We'll wait a minute. We'll go for the. You see the problem. See, demand is see demand is 79, but the supply is 79, but demand is 80. So how many products are available that products only we are going to sell. That's our but will not create the additional product. Okay, so in this way the problem is there. This is the payoff table. So after getting all these values, simply write here 156, 153, 150, 156, 158, 155, 156, 158, 160. Okay, so demand into selling price minus production cost into production price. The next preparation of a loss table. In loss table, take the value from the payoff table by applying the formula maximum value minus minimum value row wise. So here maximum value is 156. Okay, 156 minus 156, that is 0. Then 156 minus 153, that is 3. Then 156 minus 150, that is 6. Oh, okay. So in this way, we will get the last table value. See, 156, 158, 155. So 156 maximum value is 158. 158 minus 156, that is 2 here. Then 158 minus 158, that is 0. Then 158 minus 155, that is 3. Okay. The next 156, 158, 160. 160 minus 150, that is 4. 160 minus 158, that is 2. 160 minus 160, that is 0. So action formulation of action space, payoff table, then last table. So in this way, we have to do the problem. So at this, we completed the first part of the statistical decision theory. Then the next one is calculate the last table from the following payoff table. So sometimes the examiner will give the payoff table. So from this payoff table, okay, from this payoff table, we need to prove that the last table, we have to create the last table. So action A1, A2, A3, A4, E1, E2, E3, E4. Okay, 50, 300 minus 150, 50, 400, 0, 100, 0, minus 50, 200, 0, 100, then 0, 300, 300, then 0. Suppose that the probability of events in this table are P of E1 is equal to 0.15, P of E2 is equal to 0.45, P of E3 is equal to 0.25, P of E4 is equal to 0.15. So these are the probability values. So in this given question, the probability value is also given. So at that time, what we have to do? So the last table is calculated by subtracting each payoff under or event from the maximum payoff under the event. Okay. So opportunity last table, that is here. You observe carefully. So here we have to do column wise here. 400. See here 50, 400, 5 minus 50, 0. So 400 minus 50. In this way, you have to do the calculations. Maximum value minus minimum value. Okay. The next A1, A2, A3, A4. So the probability values are given. So after getting the result, that is, for example, we got 350 here. 350 into 0.15. Then 0, 0 into 0.45. Then next to 450, 450 into 0.25. Then 400 into 0.15. Okay. So in this way, you have to get all the values. The next one. This is also the additional from the question. The question is given here. Question, the values are there here like this. 50, 300 minus 150, 50. And this is the row wise. Here calculation we done your column wise. Now the row wise. Row wise value into the probability value. Okay. So this is the problem of getting last table and PF table. Okay. Then we go for the next one. Decision making. Then we run ment. Decision making envy environment. The first and foremost question that may be asked in any decision making problem is, who is decision maker? The decision maker may be an individual or a group of individuals or an organization. Okay. In decision making environment, we'll see these are decision maker. The first and the foremost question that may be asked in any decision problem is, who is the decision maker? Decision maker may be an individual sometimes. Why? Because individual person also he will take a decision. The decision may be wrong or right, but individual person also in a position to take the decision. Okay. The next, a group of individuals or an organization. Group of individuals or an organization. So the decision maker are these in this way, individual, group of individuals or an organizations. These three group of people are there. Their objectives, B, that is, the decision maker must be very clear about the objectives he wants to achieve. The decision maker must be very clear about the objectives he wants to achieve. Usually, the objectives are to optimize, that is, maximize profits or return or minimize the cost or losses. Sometimes he may decide to maintain status, which is also a kind of decision not to disturb the existing setup. The existing set up. The decision maker must be very clear about the objectives he wants to achieve. Usually, the objectives are to optimize, that is, maximize profits or return, or minimize the cost or losses. Sometimes he may decide to maintain status, which is also a kind of decision not to disturb the existing setup. So, objective of a decision maker. Objective means the major goal of the decision maker is he must be very clear about the objective he wants to achieve, first of all. Okay. Then only the decision maker is a perfect. Okay. Usually, the objectives are to optimize, that is, maximize the profit. Okay, and or return or profit, the same meaning, but sometimes based on the situation, based on the circumstances, we'll use the maximize profit or return, or minimize the cost or losses, minimizing the cost and losses. Sometimes he may decide to maintain status, which is also a kind of decision not to disturb the existing setup, not to disturb the existing setup. The next one is decision situation. So decision situation. There are two types of decision making situations, that is, decision making under certainty, decision making under uncertainty. Decision making under certainty and decision making under uncertainty. So decision making under certainty, first we'll see. So before we are going to discuss this topic, first we should know the meaning of certainty. Certainty and uncertainty. Certainty means here will happen. The chance are there to happen the activity, to be happen. So that is here the process of choosing an activity, an act or strategy. When the state of nature is completely known, it is called decision result only in one event, and the outcome, okay, and the outcome of the act can be predetermined with certainty. Hence, such situations are termed as deterministic situations. Deterministic situations. See, decision making under certainty, the process of choosing an act or strategy when the state of nature is completely known is called the decision results only in one event, and the outcome of the act can be predetermined with certainty. Hence, such situations are termed as deterministic situations. Some of the commonly used techniques for decision making under certainty are here: linear programming and simplex method, techniques used in assignment and transportation problems. Okay, input, output analysis and activity analysis and so on. Decision making under uncertainty, the process of choosing an act or strategy out of various course of action at hand. When the outcomes, that is the state of nature of any act is unknown, is termed as decision making under uncertainty. Such situations are frequent in business and management. Okay, linear programming and simplex method. See, in linear programming, we are going to see the graphical methods. Okay, with the two variables, sometimes with the three variables, sometimes with four variables also. In simplex method here, iteration one, iteration two, iteration three. Initial feasible region will be there, iteration one will be there. Okay, when the negative value is not there, if you get positive value only, then we go for the zero or negative value. Okay, we require zero or negative value, then the iteration, doing of iteration will be ended there itself only. Okay, so but when the zero or negative value is not there, then the simplex method problem will continue with iteration one, two, three, four, like this, likewise. Okay, then techniques used in assignment and transportation problems. So what techniques we are using in assignment problem and transportation? Assignment here. See, any assignment is given. So how far we are going to complete that assignment is important with the stipulated time. Okay, then transportation. See, transportation is also one of the important problem. So to carry the goods, how far we are giving the service is important here. In addition to service, in return, how much profit you are getting is also important. These type of problems we are to deal in a transportation problem. Okay, input, output analysis, activity analysis, and so on. Input, output problems and activity problems. Okay, so these are the decision making under certainty. Then next over here, decision making under uncertainty, the process of choosing an act or strategy out of various course of action at hand. When the outcomes, that is the state of nature, and the outcome, that is state of nature of any act is unknown, is termed as a decision making under uncertainty. Such situations are frequent in business and management. Uncertainty. What is uncertainty? Okay, we don't know what is happening. We don't know what is going to happen the next minute, the next second. That is uncertainty. G, the process of choosing an act or strategy out of various course of action at hand. When the outcomes, that is the state of nature of any act is unknown, okay, is termed as a decision making under uncertainty. Such situations are frequent in business and management. So, for example, see, will the new plant or industrial unit be successful? See, this is also question mark. Why? Because the new plant, what we are going to establish, it will success or failure will be taking place. Why? Because this is a new plant. The plant, what type of product we are producing, that product demand is there or not, we don't know in the market. Okay, so this in this type of situation is there. And next one, will the new product be able to complete with the other in the market? Complete, not complete. This is a Spelling mistake. Compete means giving competition. The product which we are producing in our plant, that product is giving any competition to other products. The similar products will be there. For example, see in our daily life, you will see number of products, the similar products. I will give a small example for your understanding purpose. In the market, the talcum powder product is there. Talcum powder. Okay. In talcum powder, how many types of brands are there? Different variety of brands are available here. So all these talcum powder are giving a competition. See, one talcum powder is giving a competition to other one. The other is giving to the other one. In the same manner, the paste. See, Colgate, Pepsodent, Sensodyne, Close Up, Dabur, okay, and then the direct marketing business, that is Amway, Glister paste is there. See, all these paste are available. The ultimate objective of the paste is to, yes, what is the ultimate objective? Ultimate objective is here whitening the teeth. So in our plant, which type of product we are manufacturing, that product is giving what we call a competition or not. That is important. How much to produce and the stock to get maximum return here. The next one is how much to produce. What amount of stock we should go for production, and what is the maximum return here. Okay. Then optimal decision. The decision maker is interested in selecting that particular act which will maximize his profit or return or minimize his opportunity losses or cost under all the uniformly best decision. However, in practice, such decisions rarely exist. A decision maker is interested in selecting that a particular act which will maximize his profit or return or minimize his opportunity losses or cost under all the uniformly best decision. However, in practice, such decisions rarely exist. A decision act which is good under one situation may not be even be worst under the other status of nature, and a decision which is bad under one status of nature may be very good under some other status of nature. In order to obtain the best possible decision in such cases, we have to pay down certain criterion or principle which will enable us to take an optimal action. An action for which the expected payoff, expected monetary value criteria is maximum, and the expected opportunity loss, EOL we call it as, is minimum as determined by the criteria or the principle under consideration. Okay, so at this we completed theory part. Okay, so anybody if have any doubt, you can ask the doubt. So meanwhile, let's go through the this game theory. Let's go through the game theory introduction part. So in game theory, see, few important topics we are going to see. They are meaning of game theory, properties of game, assumption of game, types of games, two-person games and n-person games, zero sum and non-zero sum games. 2% zero sum games, maximum, max, max strategies, saddle point, dominating strategy, meaning rules of dominance, mixed strategy, solution methods for games, algebraic method, probability method, dominance rules method, graphic method, linear programming method, limitations of the game theory. Okay, so these topics we are going to see in the game theory. Right. So here, game theory. Game is a competition between two parties. Game is a competition between two parties. Game is theory. It is a body of knowledge which is concerned with the study of decision making, institution, when where two or more related opponents are involved under the condition of competition and conflicting trust. Game is a competition between two parties. Game is a theory. It is a body of knowledge which is concerned with the study of decision making intuition, where two or more related opponents are involved under the condition of competition and conflicting interest. The term game represents a conflict between two or more parties. Game theory is really the science of conflict. See here, the term game represents a conflict between two or more parties. Game theory is really the science of conflict. Oh, okay. Game theory applies to those competitive situations which are technically known as comparative game, which are technically known as comparative game. Okay. The objective in theory of game is to determine the rules of rational behavior in game situation in which the outcomes are dependent on the actions of the interdependent players. A game refers to a situation in which two or more players are competing. A player may be an individual or a group of an organization, a group or an organization. Game theory has formulated mathematical models that can be useful in decision making in competitive situations. Competitive situations. The objective in the theory of game is to determine the rules of rational behavior in game situation in which the outcomes are dependent on the actions of the interdependent players. A game refers to a situation in which two or more players are competing. A player may be an individual or a group of organization. Game theory has formulated mathematical models that can be useful in decision making in competitive situations. So let us we go for a small example. Let us assume that there are only two car manufacturer company A and B. The two companies have market share for their product. Company A is planning to increase their market share for the next financial year. The CEO of company A has come up with the two strategies. One strategy is to modify the outer shape of the car and to advertise on TV. Okay, so this is a best example in the game theory. See, observe once again. I'm reading. Let us assume that there are only two car manufacturer company A and B. The two companies have the market share for their product. Company A is planning to increase their market share for the next financial year. The CEO of company A has come up with two strategies. One strategy is to modify the outer shape of a car and to advertise on the TV. Company B, knowing that if these strategies are adopted by company A, it may lead to decrease in its market share. So develops similar strategies to modify the shape of their car and to advertise on TV. Okay, so this is the example. Then next one is the terminology. So here company A is planning. What they are planning? to increase the market share. Okay, they will go for modifying the outer shape of the car and to advertise on TV. Company B, knowing that if these strategies are adopted by company A, it may lead to decrease in its market share, develops similar strategies to modify the shape of the car and go for advertisement on the TV. Then terminology, strategy here. The strategy of a player is the list of all possible actions that he takes for every player. The strategy is to classified into pure strategy and mixed strategy. So strategy means what is a strategy? The major goal of the organization is called as strategy. The major goal of the organization is called as strategy. Okay. So wait a minute. Your strategy is always selecting a particular course of action with the probability of selecting the strategies for player A is P1 is equals to 0 and P2 is equals to 1. P1 is equals to 0 and P2 is equals to 1. Strategy, pure strategy. Okay. Pure strategy is always selecting a particular course of action with the probability of selecting the strategies for player A. Player A is P1 is equals to 0 and P2 is equals to 1. Okay. Then mixed strategy. Mixed strategy is to choose at least two course of action. The probability of selecting an individual strategy will be less than 1, but sum of strategy will be 1. See, in mixed strategy, what happens here? Always the strategy will be less than 1, but the sum of strategy will be 1. Okay. So with this example, you will understand very well. If a player, see, if player mixed strategy, then the probability of selection of mixed strategy is P1 is equal to 0.45 and P2 is equal to 0.55. but the 0.45 plus 0.55 is equals to 1. Okay, this is the thing here. Then saddle point is a situation where both the players are facing pure strategies. When there is no saddle point, it indicates the player will play both the strategies. Saddle point is a situation where both the players are facing pure strategies. When there is no saddle point, it indicates the player will play both the strategies. So minimax criterion. So here in criterion, minimax is a selecting the strategies that minimizes the loss for each player. In other words, the player always anticipates worst possible outcome. Worst possible outcome here. So in other words, the player always anticipates worst possible outcome and chooses the strategies to get maximum profit and minimum loss. Okay. So value of the game. If the value of the game is the expected gain of player, yeah, if both players uses their best strategies, the best strategy is arrived at using minimax criterion. Okay. So now we are going to see the problem also. So rule of the game. In every game, these are the specified rule which govern the behavior of the competition. The rules are broadly identified into the following three types. They are here: payoff and outcome, strategies, number of competitors. Okay, so please go through this rule of the game. I will be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so please go through these payoff and outcome. Meanwhile, it shares the rule of the screen. Yeah. Okay. So for payoff and outcomes here, for more of players A, this will be a counter more by player B. Thus, results in a gain or loss would be in the form of increase or decrease in the set of action taken by A and B, and payoff is the gain or loss for each of the player. The strategies. Both the competitors have a range of potential strategies in playing the game, such as discount schemes, price promotions, and bonus stamps, customer gifts, payoff, and outcomes depend not only on strategies adopted by the player. Okay, so her payoff and outcomes are there here like this. So for every more of player A, this will be a counter more by the player B. Thus, the results in gain or loss would be in the form of increase or decrease in set of the action taken by A and B, and payoff is gain or loss for each of the player. Their strategies are there here. Both the competitors have a range of potential strategies in playing the game, such as discount schemes. So sometimes here discount schemes will be there, press promotions will be there, and bonus stamps, that is customer gifts, will be there. Payoff and outcomes depends not only on strategies adopted by the players. Okay. The next over here, number of competitors. In the game, we should have two or more member with the conflict objective. If we have two players, the objective should be in conflict means these are more when the more than two players in a game, the complexity of situation will increase. See, number of competitors. Number of competitors means when the two more than two players are there, the situation is a conflict situation. Okay, so if we have two players, the objective should be in a conflict means when these are more than two players in a game, the complexity of situation will increase here. Okay, the next one is types of games. So how many types of games? There are different types of games, but for our syllabus purpose, we are choosing these are the games. So games can be several types. The following are the some of the important games, that is two-person game and n-person game. Two-person game and n-person game. Zero sum and non-zero sum game. Games of perfect information and games of imperfect information. Games with finite moves and games with infinite moves. Constant sum game. 2 into 2 person game. 2 into m and m into 2 games. 3 into 3 and larger game. Negotiable game and non-negotiable game. So here, two-person game and n-person game. Two-person means here only two persons will be involving. and n% means the number also increases. Zero sum game and non-zero sum game. Zero sum game means here only the individual will be there, and non-zero sum means no individual, but individual also there, but he will act with his inner soul. Okay, he'll play the game with his inner soul. Games of perfect information. Games of perfect information means here, see which type of game you are playing regarding the rules and regulation. Rules and regulations. Okay, all the information will be known to you with when it is a games of perfect information is there means. Games of perfect information. So about that game, all the players, opponent team and both the teams here say they should know the proper perfect information and games with imperfect information. Sometimes the some few games are there. For that games there is no proper rules and regulations are there. That games are called as games of imperfect information. Okay. Then next, games with finite moves and games with infinite moves. Finite moves and infinite moves. Then constant sum game. Constant sum game. Okay. Then 2 into 2 person game. 2 into m and m into 2 games. 3 into 3 and larger game. Negotiable game and non-negotiable game. Negotiable game and non-negotiable game. The next one is assumption in rules of games. So some of the assumptions are there. We will see the assumption. Normally, 2 person games are taken into account as n-person game. Theory are, are not fully developed. However, in terms of playing the game, few rational assumptions are made. Okay, some assumptions they are the player act rationally and intelligently. So in the game, any game, the player should act rationally and intelligently. Rational, what is the meaning of rationality? Anyone? Or rational? Yes, anybody? Okay. So rational means a person who has sound knowledge on particular activity is called as a rational personality. And intelligently, he should play the game very intelligently, playing some tactics, and that tactics should not harm the other player. But the game should be played very intellectually. Then each player has all relevant information available. Each player has all relevant information available. So what type of information is required? That information will be collected by the player. That is important. Okay. Then each player can use the information in finite moves or finite number of moves with finite choice for each move. Okay. Finite choice for each move. Then players make independent decision of course of action. Players make independent decision of course of action. Players play the game for optimization. Players play the game for optimization. Okay. The next over here, the payoff fixed and known in advance. So the payoff is fixed. Payoff means after winning this game, what you are going to expect. What is your expectation? That expectation is known in advance only. That is called as payoff. Payoff fixed and known in advance. Known in advance. Payoff is fixed and known in advance. So once again, you see the assumptions here. Normally, 2 person games are taken into account has n person. Game theory are not fully developed. However, in terms of playing the game, few rational assumptions are made. The players act rationally and intelligently. Each player has all relevant information available. Each player can use the information in finite moves of finite number of moves with finite choices for each move. Players make independent decision of course of action. Players play the game for optimization, for the payoff fixed and known in advance. Okay. So here, what amount or what price we are going to give, that will be known to the player in advance only. Then he will play the game very intelligently. The next two-person zero-sum game. In a game with two players, if the gain of one player is equal to the loss of another player, then the game is a two-person zero-sum game. Two-person zero-sum game. A game in a competitive situation possesses the following. Competitive situation possesses the following. So what are they? They are here. The number of player is finite. Finite means limited members will be there in a game. Each player has finite list of course of action or strategy. Each and every individual player has his own strategy. Okay, that one strategy will be playing a vital role to win the game. A game is played when each player chooses a course of action, that is strategy, out of the available strategies. No player is aware of his opponent choice until he decides his own. So he should not read the opponent player. He should not estimate the opponent player behavior until he decides his own behavior, his own attitude. Then the outcome of the play depends on every combination of courses of action. The outcome of the play depends on every combination of course of action. Each outcome determines the gain or loss of each player. Okay, each outcome determines the gain or loss of each player. Okay, so you see once again, the number of players is finite. Each player has finite list of course of action or strategy. A game is played and each uh, player chooses a course of action strategy out of the available strategies. No player is aware of his opponent's choice until he decides his own. The outcome of the play depends on every combination of course of action. Each outcome determines the outcome determines the gain or loss of each player. Okay. Uh, See, each player has a finite list of course of action. So each and every individual player has the list of course of action. The game is played when each player chooses a course of action strategy out of the available strategies. No player is aware of his opponents. So, see, when the player decides about himself, so then only he is in a position to read the other personality. He is in a position to see what are the strengths and weakness of the opponent team until he decides his own weakness and strengths. The outcome of the play depends on every combination of course of action here. The outcome of the play depends on the every combination of course of action. Each outcome determines the gain or loss of each player. Okay, these are the two-person zero-sum game assumptions, and then next we go for the problems. So before we are entering into problematic part, first of all, we should know the meaning of saddle point. Saddle point here. So the definition of pure strategy, the definition of pure strategy states that both the players use the same strategy every time. Okay, and that is the best strategy from the points of view of both the players. In such a case, the strategy indicates the saddle point, which is the point of equilibrium, and it has the value of maximum gain for A and minimum loss for B. The definition of pure strategy states that both the players use the same strategy every time, and the best is the best strategy from the points of view of both the players. In such a case, the strategy indicates the saddle point, which is a point of equilibrium, and it has the value of maximum gain for A and minimum loss for B. So in saddle point, pure strategy, we can say that both the player use the same strategy every time. Okay. So that is the best strategy from the points of view of both players. In such a case, the strategy indicates the saddle point. When the point of equilibrium, it has the value of game. It is a maximum gain for A and minimum loss for B. So minimum loss. So here the maximum gain for, so both the teams have the equal chances to win the game, and both the teams have the equal chances to lose the game. That's why we can say it has a value of maximum gain for A and minimum loss for B. Okay, so at this we will conclude today's class. So tomorrow we will see the problematic part. Okay, tomorrow we'll see the problematic part here. In the problematic part, the first problem is here. Find the solution of the game to players A and B given payoff matrix of player A. Player B strategy, player A strategy. This is the problem. So tomorrow we'll discuss the remaining part here. So here in the remaining part here, what we are going to discuss means here, saddle point, mixer strategy, and dominance method, and the limitations of the game theory. So at this we will conclude today's class. So my dear students, tomorrow at the same time 10:30 we are going to meet the class. So thank you very much for listening the class. Okay, anybody any doubts? So meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you write on a paper. So regarding doubts, why? Because if you solve the problems, then you are going to have the doubts and you will get the doubts. Okay, otherwise you never get the doubts. Based on your practice only, it depends. So we have only we have only 3 minutes. So meanwhile, if anybody any doubts, okay. So meanwhile, I want to say some few information the regarding exam point of view. So my dear students, collect the your material, what is available from your study center, get the material, and you see the syllabus, what actually the syllabus is there, and according to the syllabus, and if possible, from your that what we call the center, collect the previous year question papers. So based on the previous year question papers, okay, you go for practicing, 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 practicing. That's all. There is no shortcut key for success. The only the shortcut key is for success is hard work and the practice only. If you practice more number of times, then you are going to get the more marks, and you will get a number of doubts, and the doubts will be clarified very easily and perfectly. So this is the thing I want to share with you, my dear students. So see, in the previous year, some students they asked some important questions also. I've given to them, and they posted me that, sir, what important questions you given. From that important questions also we got a number of questions, and we written our examination perfectly, and we expect good marks. Okay, so this is the way I want to say that. So some very few students are very sincere. In that sincerity, that makes them very to a great height, and they will get a go good marks, and they will score a good marks. Okay. Yeah, so anybody have any doubt?